we're just going to dive into the number one thing that is working right now in hiring. This is really, really important. I reached out, I said I've been doing a lot of research this week to prepare for this, and I reached out to our Love Your Career Formula certified career coach, Becky Carlson, who is also a recruiter. She's kind of like, in the know as far as recruiting. She's been doing recruiting for 15 years, so I wanted to reach out to her and see, is there something new? Is there something we should be aware of here in this whole job search market? Has anything changed? And it was funny because she confirmed a lot of what I teach and what I still thought was going on. She confirmed that networking is really still the number one way to find a job. And let me in on a little statistic. Hi, Becky, if you're watching this. I hope you are. But she let me in on a statistic. There's a company up in Seattle, she said, that hired 3,000-person company. They hired 80% of their employees through employee referrals. And so I'm not going to talk about networking. I want to talk about employee referrals today, because that is something I realized I don't think there's content on that in Love Your Career Formula yet. I don't think I have done any training on that. And I'm getting a lot of questions about this, and it's really the number one way that you can get hired right now. An employee, I did some statistics too. So Ernst & Young, Deloitte, Booz Allen, a lot of the top companies are reporting close to 50% of hiring their candidates through employee referrals. They're bypassing Monster.com, bypassing all of the online job sites, because they're seeing that they get such better candidates through employee referrals. So I want to dive into employee referrals. I want to tell you how it works so that you have a background in employee referrals and you kind of know how you can get one as well. So basically what an employee referral is an employee that works at the company would refer a candidate in, and here's where you might not realize this. It actually benefits them to refer employees in. One, because obviously if they refer a great employee in and the company loves that person, it's going to make the person that referred them look better too, right? So it's really, really important that when they're referring people in, they're really confident in their work and their abilities, and that they know that they're going to succeed in their job. So obviously that's great. But also, if employees refer people in, there's very often, a referral bonus. This can range from $100 to even $1,500, even more, for referring candidates into their company. So that's a positive. So think of you job searching right now. If you can find someone to refer you in, not only are you getting the win of getting that referral, hopefully getting that job, but this person is getting a bonus, right? They want that bonus. I think most companies, if you have to be there for 90 days or something like that for them to actually receive their bonus. But you may not have known that, and that's a really positive thing that might make networking change your mindset a little bit, because you're not bugging people. Who doesn't want that extra bonus for not doing much work? And behind the scenes, what happens most of the time is that the only way for them to get that bonus is for them to submit your referral into the system. So many times, and I know this was the case where I used to work at Booz Allen Hamilton, we had to be the ones to refer them in. They couldn't apply online, because then I wouldn't have gotten the bonus. So this is important for you guys, because if you're out there just submitting all these applications online, you're missing your opportunity to get that employee referral. Because at my old company, once you applied, no one else could refer you in because you're in the system. So what actually needs to happen when you get referred in, is you would submit your resume, your cover letter to this person, probably through email, and then they would take that resume and cover letter and submit it into the employee referral system online. This is usually how it happens. And so obviously other companies are different. You're going to have to ask people what their referral process is when you do find someone who wants to refer you. But this is just good background to know. This is behind the scenes of what's happening. So they refer you in. So that's kind of how it works. You have to be careful, and it kind of changes your mindset of just applying online. Let's just flip it And let's start focusing on referrals and start building relationships with people so that they really know, like, and trust you, and they know your work product. And so that's one of the things, once you get to a point where you feel like you have, made a good impression on someone, I always recommend, instead of saying, will you refer me, I would recommend saying, do you feel like you know my work well enough where you could refer me into your company? And that kind of gives them an out. It gives them a chance to say yes or no, instead of, just going up to someone or even messaging someone without even meeting them or having a phone conversation and asking them to refer you in. That's like a major, major no-no. So those are some things to consider. Referrals are awesome because they can often give you feedback on your resume. So remember that these people want you to get hired because they're going to get a bonus. So if they think you're a really good candidate for a job, they are going to help you out. So that's a big plus, right? They might put in a good word for you to get hired internally, submit your resume, and then also maybe give you some pointers of where you could maybe change things up in your resume. So huge plus, right? You see why this works, right? You see why this is a benefit. And then also you can learn some like insider secrets too. So when I was doing my 4x4 networking challenge back in 2011, I was doing informational interviews over and over and over again. And a couple times now, there's two that I was remembering right before this call. There were two times. The first one, I got on an informational interview with someone, made a great presentation. It was one of the first ones I did in January of that year, one of my first informational interviews. But I made a very good impression. I was very prepared. I had all these questions ready to go. And at the end of the call, she was more than willing to give me a referral. She just said, I am really impressed with you. You're very prepared. The fact that you called to do this informational interview, please let me know how I can help. I'm happy to refer you into my company. So just the fact of doing those informational interviews and being very, very focused and prepared during them, not winging them, will help you get into more of these referral relationships. Also, little networking events, just really, getting to know people. A lot of the stuff we've been talking about in our networking challenge that we've been doing, really getting to know people on a more relationship level rather than here's how you can help me, here's how you can help me. And then another informational interview that I did, she worked at a company where they had a very, very hard interview process at Deloitte and Touche, and so she helped me through the interview process. She was giving me insider secrets, backstory, how I should prepare for the interview. And so that's another benefit of getting that referral in. She wanted me to get hired, she wanted the bonus, but then she was helping me through the whole process to get hired as well. So those are a lot of the benefits for the employer referrals that I would highly recommend.